often believe that the key to successful weight loss is all about making these huge, massive changes in their life. And while it is important to make an overall lifestyle change if you're trying to be more fit or to lose weight, the actual key is micro habits. Small changes over time can actually lead to huge results. And as someone over 30 who lost a significant amount of weight after being 30 and theoretically having a slower metabolism than I did in my 20s, I'm in significantly better shape than I was when I was in my 20s. And it's because I cracked the code. I finally figured out those micro habits, and I also use my therapy background as well as my personal experience to help other women to achieve their goals in a faster way than I did. What's up, mamas? I'm Alexandria, and today I want to share with you those micro habits. I want to share with you 5 micro habits today that can really propel you in a positive direction and help you to achieve your goals in a way that doesn't have to feel so overwhelming and in a way that doesn't feel so scary and intimidating. As I've said, it is a lifestyle change, but the most successful lifestyle changes are ones that come through micro habits over a longer window of time. So if you're ready, let's dive in. Micro habit number 1 is eat protein every single meal. For me, this was absolutely game changing in terms of seeing the changes in my physique because protein does a couple of things. So prioritizing protein means maybe cottage cheese or egg. Whatever the case may be, adding protein to every single meal is going to serve you super well because it does a couple of things. The first thing that it does for you is that it helps you to feel full for longer. And so if you're a perpetual snacker like I am, it's much more likely to keep you out of the kitchen because you're not snacking and always in the kitchen because you're actually, full. The other thing that it's going to do for you, it's going to help you to build muscle in addition to whatever sort of like strength training or exercise programming that you're doing. As we age, our body does decline and our BMR or basal metabolic rate does decline, aka our metabolism, declines us over time. But if we can sort of head it off at the pass and eat protein and build muscle, we can actually improve our BMR or at least
slow down the slowing process,
so that as we age, we aren't having as slow a metabolism and we kind of fight against it. The other thing that it's going to do is that it's going to help you basically prioritize whole foods, because when you're thinking about what's my protein source for the meal, you're much more likely to be getting those whole foods in. And this sets the tone for the way that you live your life. If you're eating more whole foods, you're likely going to have more energy to do things like playing with your family, and you're not eating quite as much processed foods. Micro habit 2 is make a few swaps. Make a few healthy swaps for some of the things that you are eating and drinking currently. This doesn't mean you need to make a swap for every single thing you eat and drink all the time. You don't need to go crazy and make protein everything, and you don't necessarily need to swap out every single thing. Eat the foods that you want and enjoy them. But what it does mean is that, let's say you're a person who likes to drink 3 high calorie sugar sodas a day. If you swap 2 of those sodas for a 0 sugar soda or a 0 calorie soda, you're going to save yourself about 300 calories. And by doing that, especially if you are trying to live healthier or live in a deficit of some kind, it's going to be much easier for you to live in that deficit if you just saved yourself 300 calories. Then you can have the low calorie option in its place. So like I said, swapping like 2 out of 3. Or you can make some other different swaps if those feel more appropriate for you. For me, my vice was those sugary coffee Starbucks drinks. I love those, and I still do, and I still drink them, but I don't drink them nearly as often because oftentimes I would have this huge sugar crash after drinking one of these very delicious pumpkin spice apple fritter with a side of whip, one of those. You know what I'm talking about, the cookie crumble latte with a sprinkle of cinnamon sugar. I feel like Lorelai Gilmore on Gilmore Girls when she's describing the coffee that she gets.
Coffee. This is a mocha chocolate caramel swirlacino with extra whipped cream.
That sounds disgusting.
Anyway, if you know the reference, I'll try to put it on the screen. But regardless, whatever your vice is, just think about making some small swaps. Again, not everything needs to be a swap, but making some of those small swaps can save you hundreds of calories if you're trying to live in a calorie deficit and ultimately lean out and make some muscular gains and tone up a bit. Habit number 3, move your body for at least 2 minutes every single day. I did say these are micro habits. Yes, 2 minutes every single day. And if you don't believe me, check out my video I did on exercise snacks. Huberman Labs talks about this quite a bit on his podcast, as well as I've seen lots of other different people talking about the science and research behind exercise snacks. But the idea is basically that by moving your body for 2 minutes every single day, you can actually see changes and improvement in both your cardiovascular and muscular health if you partake in some of these exercises. And so I want to challenge you, especially if you're someone who's never been into movement and you're really trying to get started on living a healthy lifestyle and moving your body more. Try doing 2 minutes of exercise snacks every single day for 30 days and see what happens. Because what you're doing is A, you're setting yourself up to move more, which is great and helps to improve your metabolism. But B, it's also going to help you in the long run if you are trying to build the habit of exercising more just generally. Because ultimately the goal is that once you get started and you've done those 2 minutes, you might actually want to keep going. And then it will be the path of least resistance should you decide, hey, I'd like to work out for 30 or 45 minutes. Okay, well that's cool. Your body's already primed to do that. You've already done those 2 minutes every single day. So what's a few more minutes? What's 10 more minutes? What's 20 more minutes? When you've already said that, then you've got the habit set and the path of least resistance should you decide that you want to incorporate some sort of movement into your day. Habit number 4 is find creative ways to get your steps. Yes, I know people will not shut up about the steps. I know, I'm sorry. I am also one of those people, though this is not something that I'm great at. But finding creative ways to get your steps, maybe this is parking farther from your office and having to walk a little bit farther, or parking farther at the grocery store. Maybe it means taking the stairs instead of the elevator when you get to the office, or maybe it means some short walks around the parking lot or whatever in between your meetings, or if you're a work from home person, maybe some short walks around your neighborhood. But by setting yourself up with these walks each day, it's setting you up again to get more movement. And the closer you can get to that 7 to 10,000 steps per goal per day, the more success you will have from a movement standpoint. There are a lot of benefits. I'll list some on the screen for you so that we don't have to be here all day. But there are a lot of benefits in getting more steps in every single day. And overall, it will improve your overall quality of life and quality of health. So make it more creative, make it fun. Go for walks with a friend. Find ways to get you moving and get those steps in. You don't need to overcomplicate this. Just do the things that you already know how to do and just expand on those. And micro habit number 5, and honestly, if this one might be the hardest one, definitely is the hardest one for me, is to eat without distractions. Yes, eat without distractions. Whether that's the doom scrolling through Instagram or TikTok, whether that is watching TV, whether it's answering work emails, have a distraction-free meal. You're gonna do this for a couple of reasons. The first one is because it's gonna help you to be better in tune with your body's hunger and fullness cues, so you can actually figure out when you're full and satisfied and when you're still hungry. But it also allows you the opportunity to really enjoy and experience the food that you have, making the meal more enjoyable, but also being better able to pay attention to what's happening inside of your body. And when you're able to do that better, you're better able to learn those bodily cues. And for so many of us, myself included, we learn things like clean your plate, or we are accustomed to eating with a ton of distractions and often aren't able to pay attention to our hunger and fullness cues, which can help us end up overeating and again make us go over our calorie budget. And so in that way, by having yourself a non-distracted meal, a distraction-free meal, at least one, preferably all, but I know, especially, listen, I'm a mom, I know how distracted I can be, especially when I'm eating with my son. So at least a meal to practice being non-distracted sets you up to better listen to your body and to your bodily cues and hopefully help you to know your hunger and fullness cues. And it also is likely going to make it so that you end up eating less because you can actually tell, oh, hey, wait, I'm getting full. I might want to slow down, as opposed to when we're doom scrolling and eating, that's when we end up eating more calories than we really needed. So I hope you can see that even though these micro habits feel small, they ultimately can have a significant impact over time and can help you to lean out your physique, hopefully in the way that you're hoping to do, if that's your goal, or just to be a more healthy and fit person. And if you've loved this, YouTube's going to recommend a video for you, and I recommend the exercise snacks video that I mentioned just a little bit ago so that you can see the impact of 2 minutes of exercise snacks. And if you enjoyed this, I would love if you would subscribe and let me know in a comment down below what your favorite type of micro habits are and the ones that have been the most successful for you, because I think we could all use to learn from each other. Thanks for watching. Bye, friends.